Going on, man?
Hey, good to see you again. Hey
You
everyone,
too.
welcome back to the. It's good to be back. Anyway, welcome back to the Astounding, everyone. Episode number 20. We might even be on 30 by now. I have actually lost track of the number.
That's awesome.
Let me check. One moment, everyone. Wow, this is episode 30.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And what a way to start off the new year with the 30th episode of the Astounding, talking about the whole series of Hawkeye, with, of course,
Hawkeye.
Rodney from the after credit scene.
Yeah. It's been a while, man. I'm glad to be talking to you again. I was really looking forward to this.
So have I been, man. Honestly, it's crazy how long it's been since we've done this.
So tell me what you thought. I've been really curious to hear all of your thoughts on it because we haven't talked about it at all. Like, haven't commented on each other's stuff or anything. Really, just waiting till this to get your impressions of it.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, it's for me, Hawkeye. It was amazing. Like, it was really good. It hasn't been as good for me as some of the other shows that have come out before it. Although I think that's partly to do with the fact that I don't know much about Hawkeye other than what's already been presented in the MCU. Like, I don't know much about his backstory in the comics, the characters associated with him. And the only character I really knew about was Clint himself, Kate because of the Avengers game, which I'm still in love with, and Kingpin because of Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from those guys, I didn't really know about anybody else. So it was good, but if I'm honest, I have preferred the other shows more to this. It's definitely on the lower end of my favorites.
Yeah. So how would you rank the series compared to the other ones?
Yeah. I think I'd say it was pretty good. Like, I'd give it a good 3-4 out of 5. I think it needed more time to breathe.
Sure. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Series, like you said compared to some of the series because you knew more about it, like which Disney series did you think was better than this one? Which ones?
Well, for me, my two top favorites out of all of them are WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Because I did before WandaVision came out, look up a little bit about House of M, which is, of course, partly what WandaVision was based off comic book wise. It's like I kind of had an understanding slightly. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I knew about Sam as Captain America, so I kind of had myself geared up for that too. But Hawkeye, like, I do like the character, but he's one of the ones that I'm least interested in out of all the others. So, like, I was hyped for this because I was hoping to get a bit more from him, but I have come out of the show still wanting a bit more, which I'm thankful there's going to be a season 2 for this.
Yeah, I guess it depends on when I ranked them. Like, I tried not to, as much as I've got, even beyond my love for Marvel stuff. Like, I really love movies, and I really get into like the way the stories are written and the way the stories are told. The even down to like the coloring and stuff, because like this was a Christmas show. Lots of reds and greens, right down to in the finale, the reds and greens were the tracksuit mafia guys, but the purples that are everywhere, like all those kind of, like they intentionally light things a certain way to give you a certain emotion. So like all of that stuff, cinematography and things like that, like I really get into those things and pay attention to them. But I mean, comparing the series really hard. I'm like WandaVision, as far as being visually stunning, is probably way better than all of them. But what it has in being visually stunning, it loses in some of its storytelling because it was so mysterious that it only worked once that way, if it makes sense. Like, you watch a couple of episodes and like, oh, what's going to happen next? And so it kept you coming back. So that experience really only worked one time. And after you know everything, when you go back and watch it, it's like, oh, well, there's all this cool stuff, but there's no payoff. It's like, well, they hinted at this, they hinted at that. Well, they really didn't. If you know the end. So, if you binge it, like, I have a lot of people that really love WandaVision more because they binged it, and so they could watch, all 7 or 8 episodes, all 8 episodes, 7 or 8 episodes.
Yeah,
all at
I think
one
it was
time.
9.
So so they didn't have the letdown of like, these first 2 episodes are weird. What's going on? They could jump right 3, 4, 5, and so they had a different experience with it than. But like I said, there's things about that one I really, really love. But as far as like storytelling, involving other elements, moving things forward, consistency from episode to episode, I actually put this series just below Loki as like my number 2 favorite. My number 2 favorite series that Disney has done so far. And it's really close with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but the big difference for me between Falcon and the Winter Soldier and this, Falcon and the Winter Soldier took, you're going to international places. This was a global story, right? So with all these terrorists all around the world, but they took this global story and they were able, in some ways, they were able to make it small, which is good. You got invested in the characters and those kind of things, and you got to know them, but you had this big story that never felt big, right? It never felt huge, given that it had a global scale to it, except maybe that episode 3 with Madripoor, where they were doing a lot of work. But because they go straight from Berlin to Madripoor. But with Hawkeye, they took a small story, this 1 week right before Christmas, with these characters that don't have superpowers, with a whole lot of backstory, made it feel huge. It had like big implications, right? Like Yelena and Echo and Kingpin and all these kind of things. Like, it was a really, really big deal. So I don't know, that's what stood out to me, is that they were able to take a small story and make it feel huge and epic compared to some of the other stories. And Loki was just good writing, good story, good acting, consistent all the way through, weird and different, and it was just really cool. But yeah, I liked the whole thing as well. Even if you didn't know a lot about Hawkeye or anything else, it was fun to watch and fun to get to know. And so you didn't have to have a bunch of backstory to be able to jump into it, because it fed you a lot of it along the way.
Yeah. I have to honestly agree with that, because Hawkeye for me, I think if it had the same episodes as WandaVision or What If, I think that would have done the show a lot better, in my opinion.
Yeah, they got in a rhythm of giving you backstory before they ran the Marvel logo. So like the Yelena episode where you see her snapped and blipped. Was excellent. It was excellent. But they did that, and they did it for the episode that was mostly about Echo. Episode 2 or 3 that's actually called Echoes. They did it for that one as well. And so I thought they were getting in a habit of doing that. And if they had stretched it out by another 2 or 3 episodes, they could have given you some more backstory. Like they could have given you some backstory on Kingpin. They could have given you some backstory on a little more backstory on maybe Eleanor or Kate. Some of those different things that that they really had to wrap up. And like, if you watch some of my prediction videos, like I kind of thought storytelling wise, like episode 5 and 6 are both going to be really heavy episodes because there's so much up that no way they stick it all in episode 6. And so I doubled down on my predictions in episode 5.
Yeah.
And I got almost all of them wrong. And
Yeah.
so it was, I mean, I had to come back and be like, look, I really screwed that up. But episode 6, it really did wrap everything up really tightly without making you feel like, oh, they didn't give me enough, or oh, they, it just, but it was good. But I agree that there wasn't but one episode, that being episode 5, that I felt like was slow at all. That was like, oh, you didn't need that episode. But it's because they were putting all their eggs into episode 6. So,
oh yeah.
But having said that, episode 4 was my absolute favorite episode.
I'd have to say 6 for me.
Yeah, you just like the way it wrapped up?
Yeah. Also, I've just got a very quick voice message to play.
Okay.
Yep, what's going on? Astounding Cameron, the after credits guy. What's good? I hear y'all talking about Marvel, Hawkeye, Loki. Oh man, I still gotta finish the last episode of Hawkeye, so gotta watch that.
Oh god,
I think I'm caught up on everything else except for What If. I didn't finish What If either. I'm like a couple episodes behind.
Okay.
But I seen the Spider-Man. That was pretty cool. The Eternals was alright.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to y'all. It's your favorite music junkie, Dave. Sliding through, sending love, peace, positivity, and blessings your way. I'm a bit of a comic book junkie as well. I actually have a song titled Superman. So if you guys would like to hear it, that'd be cool. I could send in a clip.
Nice.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Just saying, we may go into spoil territory for the end of What If and Hawkeye, so tread carefully.
We can't talk much about episode 6 while Dave's with us, because
nope.
If he watched episode 5, he knows Kingpin's coming. So there's definitely good Kingpin stuff in episode 6.
Yeah, thank God for that. Also, I should mention I haven't watched Eternals or Spider-Man yet. There's a very good reason though. The COVID situation in Wales has turned very bad very quick.
Oh, the Omicron stuff? Is that getting rough?
Yeah. Like in Wales on Wednesday last week, we had 21,000 new cases.
Jeez.
So absolutely not.
Crazy. Well, dude, you need to stay off the internet as much as possible because the spoilers for Spider-Man. But it's going to be bonkers.
I will admit, I have had it spoiled.
Okay. So, you know about all the cameos?
Well, I know about the big ones, yeah. Oh, got another voice message from Dave again real quick.
I mean, I seen Spider-Man. I seen Matt Murdock pop up from the Netflix universe, which I was excited about.
No!
Man. And I already heard
don't worry.
Kingpin is in Hawkeye, or there's some type of reference to Kingpin. I don't know yet, but I'm excited. I'm freaking getting goosebumps right now. But yeah, also, you know, that song Superman is available wherever you listen to music, like Apple or Spotify or whatever. So I don't know. I didn't quite hear if you said you wanted me to send it in or not. My bad.
Send it on, man. That'd be awesome. I'm always new stuff.
I'll give it a listen. Yeah, don't worry. I knew about the other cameo as well.
Dave just needs to go to our YouTube channels and subscribe so we both get some new subscribers. And that way we'll just share love back.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, don't worry. I knew about Matt as well. That was cool as hell. Oh,
dude. I told my wife when that part of the movie popped up, I was like, hey, we can leave. We can go. Wait, because I'm totally happy. Matt Murdock, I'm a huge Daredevil fan, and all of the Daredevil rumors and the Daredevil stuff that they say is coming, I'm gonna lose my mind in the movie theater, on television shows, and oh my goodness, it's gonna be bonkers. But no, the with regard to the episodes, I see what you're saying about episode 6. Some of the fight scene, without giving things away to Dave, some of the fight scenes, particularly with Kate, and some of those things were very cool. The wrap up with Yelena and Clint, excellent. But all of those things were really great. I just liked the reason I liked episode 4 more. Besides the fact, episode 5 had the tease at the end with Kingpin, the Yelena stuff at the beginning, but it didn't really move the story forward as much as it could for me, even though it had a lot of good stuff in it.
Agreed. Yeah.
Episode 4 was you got backstory, you got team ups, you got that fight with Yelena and Echo, and just all of those different elements really came together very well in that episode. And if you listen to the things that they say and the things that they talk about, I don't think that I've watched it 2 or 3 times. I don't think that there is one piece of dialogue that is unused, that is unnecessary in that episode. Like everything had weight to it, which was really cool. But then beyond that, like the first 3 episodes, even though they were good and I enjoyed them, they were weaker. I think when I did my review and I did my episode rankings, I think I did 4, 6, 5 from top to
3,
bottom.
1, 2, I think.
5, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, I swapped 1 and 2, and I really went back and forth on that. And it was only because episode 2 had a few elements in it that episode 1 didn't. With regard to episode 1, 3, 1, 2. Episode 1 had that the intro from Avengers that was just really well done. That other perspective. Well, I'll tell you what it made me feel like. And I know they kind of did it with Endgame, but just in Endgame they really interact with those different elements, so it felt like a different story. But like if you saw Batman versus Superman, even though I totally hate that movie, the perspective of the Superman Man of Steel fight, but from Bruce Wayne's perspective at the beginning of that movie, was a really cool element, a really cool piece to throw in. The beginning of Hawkeye felt like that for me, where Kate's in her room and she gets to see that Avengers fight, but from a different angle. I just love those different overlapping elements where you got to see those pieces. It was really, really cool.
Oh, got another voice message in from Dave.
Yeah, I think this is his song. So this is Junkie Dave's Superman song.
Superman, I'm tired of hiding. I'm sick of the shooting aside. Look at the pain in the sky. Superman, we are not one in the same shit. I done came here in a spaceship. Why should I have my greatness? Superman, Lois Lane needs saved. Why can life be amazing? I was trying to make it. Kryptonite is my babies. Spent nights on the pavement. I get high to escape it. Late nights I be waking. Something's going through my brain. Shit got me feeling like I'm breaking down. And I just wanna get away. Superman, how does it feel? Being a man of steel comes to the price to pay this real. Superman, I promise it ain't what you think. There's only so much you can say. I'm tired of holding away. Wanna get rid of the cake. Wanna eat at my cake. The superhero that they hate. Hoping I don't make it. I'm tired of complacent. I got dreams that I'm chasing. Watch me catch up like I'm Jason.
Oh, I like that. That
good. Was really good. Wow.
That's good stuff. I like that hook too. That's nice.
That's amazing, man.
I have some guys that do some recording on the side, and their stuff sounds a little like that stuff too. But it's got you can tell that Dave's recording his own stuff. He's his own hype man in the background. Yeah.
Awesome.
But
Thanks, Dave.
sending that our way, Dave. That was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to say, least favorite episode of Hawkeye.
Oh wait, I didn't mean to add him. I hit a button. I was trying to follow it. There we go. I got him.
Yeah. Just gonna say, least favorite episode of Hawkeye for me.
Okay.
I don't remember which episode it was, but it's the car chase episode.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a very good reason for this.
Okay.
Because the car chase was pretty much the whole episode.
Yeah.
It was amazing, but it was just... It went on for too long for the episode length. It took up too much of the episode. It was amazing to watch. Like, it was so cool. But it just went on for too long for what it needed to be.
Yeah, I liked it was, I mean, everybody went nuts over it because it was your first introduction into the trick arrows.
Yeah.
But and it had a good wrap up, with them on the George Washington Bridge and that kind of thing. It was really cool. I actually thought that maybe Yelena would pop up in that episode and cause a little trouble, and that would end up breaking them out of that situation. But I mean, it was still cool the way it happened. But yeah, it took up a ton of the episode. That was one of the first episodes though that I realized that the director and everybody in the way they did the cinematography in this show, they did a lot of time highlighting and showcasing the city of New York. Which gave me a whole bunch of Daredevil vibes, because if you watch the Daredevil Netflix show, they do a ton of where we're in Hell's Kitchen, where we're in Queens, where we're here, we're there. Check out this church, check out this city hall. Like they show you a lot of cityscapes and far away shots and all those different things. And this was definitely like that. Even when Yelena is talking about stuff she wants to see in New York, in episode 5, I think 4 or 5, episode 5, they talk about different locations in New York that are not very well known either. She says, "Oh, you should go to Highline Park, and you should go here and there." All those different things. So, episode 2 did a good job of showing you those things, but it was a really good kind of one-shot scene where they made it look like it was all shot with one camera angle, in the car and everything. That was some really good elements, but but it took up the majority of the episode. It was like, wait, that was it? Okay.
Yeah. And I got another voice message here.
Okay.
Man, I definitely appreciate that. Shout out to you guys. I followed you guys on Instagram and YouTube. I subscribed and left a comment.
Nice.
Yeah, if you like that song's available wherever you listen to music. So, like I was saying, Apple, Spotify, Tidal, Pandora, iHeartRadio, even Napster. I didn't know Napster was still out, but my songs are on there. So, pretty much anywhere, like your Instagram stories, even TikTok, everywhere, almost everywhere. But yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Shout out to y'all.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave.
I learned something from Dave today too. Napster is still a thing.
Who knew?
I'm still very appreciative of Napster. I was around pre-Napster, man. That's how old I am. And I still have lots of 90s music Napster is responsible for giving me.
I'm probably at the end of that era. I was born at the very end of 2001.
Yeah. Oh goodness, that's funny. So hey, I am curious about this. Unless you had some more questions for me about Hawkeye, did you know, Easter egg wise, I'm surprised you are not more nuts over the fact that there were 2 Star Wars Easter eggs in this show.
What?
There were 2. Okay, one of them is an easy
one. Oh
one.
God.
So I say the easy. It's very in your face. The other one you have to go searching for. So
Okay.
and we're not really giving away episode 6, but the LARPers in episode 6.
Yeah.
When they're on the intercoms, one of the LARPers says that his code name is Red One.
Oh, no way.
Yes. So, and I would love to dig into it a little deeper because, in Star Wars, Red One is Red Leader, and they've had a couple of different Red, because, like in A New Hope, the guy that was Red Leader ends up dying right after he tries to shoot the Death Star. And being Antilles later. That's the one most people know is Wedge Antilles. But there's different Red Leaders, and I think it would be interesting if, like, oh, this character has some connection to that. But the other one, when I can't remember if it's the first time that Clint meets the LARPers in episode 2 or 3, or if it's in episode 5 when Clint tells Kate to go get the arrows from. Anyway, one time when they meet the LARPers, they're listening to Christmas music in the background.
Yeah.
And it's a song called Bells, Bells, Bells. And it's off of a Star Wars Christmas soundtrack featuring like 3PO and R2D2, and like it's legit off of a Star Wars soundtrack. And I thought for sure for all the Star Wars mania that you had coming into What If, I thought for sure you'd have that in your radar. You'd just be ready, queued up for it.
The worst part is I actually missed those.
I'm pretty sure it's episode 4. Now that I'm looking back at my own notes, episode 4.
Yeah, like, I'll admit, that second one with the soundtrack, that is something I wouldn't have picked up on unless it was from a main film. As for the Red One thing, I just must not have heard it.
I always go back, like, any kind of music, any kind of paintings, pictures, stuff on the walls. I always go back and research addresses. I do that. If they hung too long on like a if they pause too long on a like a number, like a license plate or a taxi cab number, I always go back and research that stuff. Something for you to look out for. You've seen it in the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away, but there is in Spider-Man No Way Home, when you go see it, there's a fight scene on a bridge, and there's a whole bunch of cars on the bridge, and one of them is a taxi.
Yeah. Oh!
Taxi is number 1228, and that is Steve's birthday.
Yeah, I have seen that once. That I'll admit, I was very happy with that. Very happy to see it.
Yep, that was cool. I was trying to think of another one in Hawkeye that I really liked. That I was like, oh, that's an excellent Easter egg. I'm looking through my Easter eggs right now there's a Dungeons and Dragons Easter egg. There's a big poster on the wall.
I did notice that.
There is I love the conversation between Maya and her dad when she's little, and she's asking about dragons, and he's like, if they exist in another dimension. And he's right, because if you've seen Shang-Chi, you know they do exist in another dimension.
Yeah.
My favorite one. It's so obscure and it's random. So the music in Hawkeye, there's several different songs, and they do Christmas music a lot. But they make a music reference when right after Jack comes in on Clint and Kate in their house, and they're sitting down talking, and Eleanor says something about how reserved Kate is because she's meeting her hero. And Jack says, well, if I ever met Huey Lewis, I don't know what I would do. And it's like, why would you mention Huey Lewis? He doesn't have a lot of Christmas music. He doesn't, like, why do it unless it's something that, like, Tony Dalton he loves Huey Lewis, but a really cool connection to Hawkeye is Huey Lewis has Meniere's disease, and it renders you deaf.
Oh.
So Huey Lewis is now deaf. And Hawkeye is struggling with his hearing loss throughout the series. And it's like,
of course.
Man, that's bomb, dude. It's just little stuff like that. That's like, they didn't have to throw that in there. But that they might have thought about, was really, really cool.
Yeah. I mean, as I said during our What If talk, Marvel doesn't do stuff by accident.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm referring to when I'm talking about What If there.
Oh, yeah.
I still can't get over that.
You watched the trailer for Multiverse of Madness yet?
Oh, yes.
So that version of What If, that episode 4 of What If is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
If Dave's still watching, so I won't give that away. But even in the poster, look at the poster that they put out for Multiverse of Madness, and zoom in on the version of Doctor Strange in the middle and look at his hand. That has episode 4 of What If written all over it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah. I was going to say, just hopping back to What If real quick. I do have a slight theory for an episode of season 2.
Okay.
It is involving the end of episode 9, but it isn't really a spoiler because we already know what happened from an earlier episode in regards to this.
Okay.
Dave, apologies if this is a spoiler in any way. Sorry. But, well, when Peggy and Nat find the Hydra Stomper.
Yes.
I have a theory for the season 2 episode, because we know in season 2 we're returning to that universe.
Yep.
I think in that episode, I think we're gonna skip past the Winter Soldier phase.
Ooh.
Like, I think we're gonna skip past the whole Peggy versus Steve situation. Like, it will have happened, but off screen. Because
that could be.
Now, there is a reason for this. I think that once Steve breaks free of the Winter Soldier conditioning, he will want to ditch the Hydra Stomper / Winter Soldier persona completely and take on a new one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, I say a new one. I think he's going to, now with the Super Soldier Serum flowing through his veins, take up the mantle he was originally supposed to.
Huh.
So we could have Captain Carter and Captain America.
That'll be interesting.
Because I know Steve would want to break free of that whole stigma behind Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I hadn't actually thought through what they might do with some of the continuation from that. I think I don't know. I think they might follow. I mean, they can still do that too. The only thing I ever thought about was that maybe they would, they're going to throw in some what if scenarios from not just phase 1 and 2, but like 3 and 4.
Oh yeah.
But I think they're still going to follow that format of, you've got some scenarios from those different movies, but somehow they all you're still going to get some multiverse crossover stuff like you did at the end of What If. But they can, I really think that's where they're playing with ideas, and they're introducing concepts to the hardcore fan base, because the hardcore Marvel fan base is going to watch the cartoon, even if they're not into cartoons.
Yeah.
So, that's a place where they can run those ideas by the Marvel fan base, by the hardcore fan base, and see like, hey, do you like this version of Doctor Strange? Do you like, how popular is Captain Carter? How popular is this? Hey, this character kind of looks like Galactus. Should we animate it that way? Did they like it? Did they not like it? Because if people don't like it, well, it's just a one-off and we're never going to do that again. But if they like it, then they can go, okay, we'll bring those elements in.
We can do this again.
They've got a place where they can play with it. And, and kind of workshop it, but still get their ideas out there, and then incorporate them more of the live action stuff later on.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what they throw in, and what their plan is. But so far, I'm liking the way that they're handling the TV shows and the movies and some of the crossover, and really just being very blatant about it. And that's the thing about getting into some other stuff. I'm not meaning to go off on a rabbit trail, but somebody asked me the other day what I thought about Eternals, and right now Eternals is the only one that, like, you could watch everything else that's happened and not watch Eternals and still be okay.
Yeah.
But I think in the future, because of the things that happen in Eternals is going to end up being mandatory viewing for some things that happen in the future of the MCU. Like, you'll have to know that these guys exist and what they did, and what characters came out of it. But right now, it's just this extra story that they're telling. So I'm enjoying the newness of it, the freshness of new characters, stories, and continuing stories, but in different ways. And I really like that. It's been really cool. But I tried to give you a little bit of a segue with the Hawkeye stuff and the Star Wars stuff, so you could talk about some Boba Fett stuff. But since we're a little short on time, if there's not anything else Hawkeye related or Marvel related for us to talk about, we could talk about that.
I mean, I can do it really quick, but I would also just want to quickly mention that Captain Carter / Captain America theory came from that scene when she did find Steve, and the piano version of the Captain America theme that played.
Oh yeah, you're totally right. The music. I'm just talking about music and Easter eggs, and I totally missed that one.
Yeah, I heard that. I thought, they're bringing in Captain America. That's gonna happen. Cool. Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did not think about that. Totally right.
Yeah. I just want to bring that little thing in from What If, because I know I didn't mention it last time, because I'll admit this theory's only come around in the last couple of weeks now that I've been thinking about it for a couple of months.
That's very cool.
Anyway, Book of Boba Fett, Episode 1. Don't remember the title, actually. Whoops.
Oh, gosh. I should remember it.
It was...
I want to look it up. Something about respect, maybe?
I'm
gonna have to look it up now. There you go. I'm gonna look it up.
Okie dokie, thanks.
Here we go. Oh no, I was totally wrong. Stranger in a Strange Land.
That's the one. Yes.
Stranger in a Strange Land.
Yes. Episode 1, Stranger in a Strange Land. Wow. What an episode to start off with. Like, the first few minutes. Yeah. Have you watched it?
Oh, yeah. I didn't think... brilliant. I like Boba Fett, but I've kind of thought, like, the more they threw him in there, and, like, oh, gosh, I'm aging myself all over the place in this episode. I was in high school, almost out of high school, when episode 2 came out.
Oh, wow.
And throwing in Jango Fett and Boba Fett storylines and stuff. And I was like, are we really going to go down this road? Like, okay, sure. But it was just like they were, up until that point, they were popular characters, but they were extra characters. And then like throwing back in where there's like this cult following of like, we want to know Boba Fett's story. I didn't really think I was going to like this show, but I trusted Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni enough to be like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. That first episode was fantastic. It had more of that space cowboy Western feel, and the way that they did the way that they gave you stuff, they're still kind of functioning in that in-between world between Revenge of the Jedi and
Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
But they gave you some backstory between episode 3 and 4, and some other different things in between episode 6 and 7 too, where you got got little pieces. And they did it with those flashbacks where he's in that Bacta tank. Was really, really well done. And it didn't feel forced at all. It was like, oh, I want to see more of that. Was really cool. I liked that a lot. I'm interested to see where they go with it, for sure. I mean, I have no expectations for it because I'm not really in. I like Star Wars, but I'm not really into, like, I haven't read the comic books. I haven't read the books. I don't know a lot about Star Wars canon and those kind of things. And so it's just been fun to enjoy.
Yeah. But, so this episode is very much a mixture of Boba Fett trying to cement his place as basically Jabba the Hutt's replacements. Well, technically Bib Fortuna, but Bib Fortuna, by the sounds of it, didn't do that much, so he's basically just replacing Jabba. And a mixture of showing how he got out of the Sarlacc during Return of the Jedi, like, not even after, like, during the film.
Yeah.
So those scenes we're seeing with the flashbacks in that episode is going on while the rebels are invading Endor, the Death Star's being blown to Kingdom Come. Yeah, and I really liked that because I was expecting to see the whole how did he get out shtick at some point, but I wasn't expecting it in the first episode.
And you see how he loses his armor, and you already know from Mandalorian where his armor pops back up. So the little things that they didn't have to tell you that stuff. They didn't have to give you those extra scenes. And it's like, hey, we're gonna tell these stories right. I really was impressed with those things. It was really cool.
Yeah,
those little things, story, man, they really do.
Yeah, because I know that's what the Star Wars fandom's been wanting, seeing how Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc, how he survived. Because we saw that stuff in the old canon, but we haven't seen it in the new.
So have you? This would be a fun way to wrap up, I suppose. But do you ever watch Parks and Rec? Did you ever watch?
I haven't. No.
You need to look up. Patton Oswalt, Parks and Rec. And there's an episode in Parks and Rec where Patton Oswalt's character is attempting to filibuster a vote that's happening. That one of the main characters wants to have, and in his filibuster, he lays out the way that the Marvel universe and the Star Wars universe can cross over, which you'll love. But there's a scene where he says, and we cut to the sand, and the gauntlet hand of Jabba the Hutt pops up through the sand and grabs hold and pulls himself out of the mouth of the Sarlacc pit. Like, he basically quotes the beginning of the Book of Boba Fett, but he did it like 6 years ago.
My goodness, that is wow.
It's so funny. And people have made side-by-side comparisons to it. And then at the end of it, he says, and this is how the Marvel universe and the Star Wars universe can exist in the same, like, you'll go nuts over it. It's so funny. It's great. But I took a picture of it and tweeted it out too, because I was like, Patton called it. Parks and Rec called it years ago.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But like, in regards to how I was expecting that to go, I was expecting something like episode 4 or 5. Fennec Shan to just ask him, so Boba, how did you get out? And then he just explain it. Like, I don't think we'd actually see it, nor would we see it this quickly.
Yeah, it was a really cool, really awesome way to start off the show.
Yeah, because, again, that's something the Star Wars fandom has been wanting since the Disney takeover, when they scrapped the old canon completely, although we're kind of undoing that now also completely. Like, there's not much left for them to bring back.
Well, Disney, like, for all the people that say, oh, Disney's they're a huge company and they're putting people out of business and they do this and they do that. Like, even the movies of theirs that have bombed in the box office, that just didn't make a bunch of money, Disney does not tell bad stories.
Oh, no.
Like, even if there's movies you don't like they make, it's one or the other. It's like okay, here's a good one. I talked to a guy about this quite a bit, mainly because he gets really up in arms about it, and I think it's funny to watch him squirm. But he hates The Last Jedi. Hates it completely.
A lot of people do.
Thinks it's awful. And I said, look, I know there's parts of that story you don't like, but it is visually stunning, and it is a good story. Now, whether or not you like it as a Star Wars story fitting episode 6 to episode 8 and wrapping things up, I mean, whether you like that or not, it's still a good story, and it's still a good movie from a cinematography standpoint, from dialogue, from the it's still a good story. Movies like John Carter, if you ever saw John Carter of Mars, like that's not a bad movie. It's just it came out at a bad time. It was competing against a whole bunch of stuff. It's a little long, but it's fun to watch. It's visually stunning. Got a good ending. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Disney just doesn't tell bad stories. And so I'm never really worried about what they're going to do with the Marvel stuff or what they're going to do with the Star Wars stuff. Even if there's things that you wouldn't care for, like it's still going to be
all good. It's just might not be your personal cup of tea. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's going to be plenty for everybody. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So I'm excited they go.
Oh yeah. Like I think we seem to be flip-flopping a bit because 2020 was a Star Wars year with Mando and the Clone Wars. Last year was definitely a Marvel year, and this year seems to be tipping back towards Star Wars a bit because I know we've got a few Marvel shows coming out, but we've got a fair few Star Wars coming out too.
Yep.
So we've got Book of Boba Fett now, Mando at some point before the end of the year, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Those are all going to be really good. And I'm curious to see where they fit the new Marvel series in, because I know they really – I think they got to come out with something in February to get you – because otherwise you're going January, February, March, April, and the first thing you get is
Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Maybe that because there are things that happen in that movie that need to be explained before you can watch these TV series. But I don't know. Maybe there's some things that pop up that they just have to wait that long, and they're kind of getting back in order. But I thought She-Hulk or Miss Marvel would come out before Multiverse of Madness. I thought they were going to do those.
That was probably the original plan, and it could still be.
It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do, but I'm psyched for all the Marvel stuff, the Star Wars stuff, everything.
Oh, and I do just want to touch on one final thing before we kind of sort of wrap this up.
Okay.
Do you watch a channel called Film Theory? They're a co-channel to the channel Game Theory.
Yeah, occasionally.
Well, he did a theory on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness about a month ago now.
I might have seen that one.
It kind of links into X-Men 97 too.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, I was not expecting. Like, who saw that coming? Literally, there wasn't a single YouTuber, I don't think, that had a leak about that.
That they were going to bring all that in? Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the theory goes that, well, when the series ended back in the 90s, they continued it on in a comic book.
Yeah.
And in that comic book, well, actually, it kind of links into Shang-Chi because the Dweller of Darkness, the big dragon from Shang-Chi, is actually an X-Men villain. Yeah. And in this X-Men comic, continuing on the cartoon series, the Dweller of Darkness actually ends the universe and ends up getting it rebooted. At which point we see the classic 60s X-Men come back, so they become the main X-Men again. And Matt Pat's theory goes that that's going to happen again in the X-Men 97 cartoon, but it's going to end a little bit differently. The Dweller of Darkness is going to destroy the X-Men 97 universe, and then when the universe gets rebooted, it will be the MCU.
That would be interesting.
So, like, the X-Men cartoon acts as a prequel for the whole MCU universe.
Where they end up funneling people to a show that they didn't know they needed to watch.
Yeah, and then they get rebooted again, so they're in the MCU as well, but they also act as the catalyst for the MCU's existence.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah, like, I would recommend going to watch that video if you haven't already. I think he posted it at the beginning of December.
Yeah, I'll go back and find that. I hadn't heard that at all.
Yeah, like, it was really cool the way, because he built it up, because I was thinking, okay, dots are starting to click together. Oh man, they could realistically do that, because it will be a full-on Disney Marvel production. So really, they could.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, they've got so many things cooking.
Yeah,
and I put a thing on TikTok. There's a I found, I'm not going to give completely because I still feel a little beholden to my friend who told me, but there's some connections where I had a friend. It's like a friend of a friend knew somebody who told them that they were going to be in a new Marvel movie and that they were going to be the teenage version of Nova.
Oh wow!
And I did I sat on it for a long time because I couldn't confirm it, and I couldn't and I didn't have any kind of confirmation from the person or anything from Marvel rumors or anything that they were even going to be using Nova or do anything with it. But the person that I was following that said I'm going to be Nova was at the No Way Home premiere. And so I went ahead and posted, okay, I've been hearing about this for a while, and this guy could pop up in an after credit scene, or he could pop up somewhere, and he didn't. But again, like with all these rumors, if you go and look at this guy's Instagram page, it's him at Marvel Studios, and his thing says superhero in training, and if you dig a little further, like whenever he started that Instagram channel and some other pages that are completely blank except for that Marvel stuff, he also like shuttered his old pages. So basically, the way for you to follow him is to follow him on this new stuff, and he's kind of get rid of. So I say that to say, like, there's all kinds of rumors out there swirling about stuff that Marvel has coming down the pipe, and James Gunn has started saying, well, these are characters that I want to use or that I tried to use or that are coming in my movie, and Adam Warlock, and just all these different things that are coming, but you can't really see yet how they're going to use them or cross them over, or Black Knight and Blade and all these different things.
Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting to see what they do, especially when they start throwing in all this multiverse stuff. I'm curious to see. It could either get really, really out of hand, and you could get so confused as to by what's going on that they lose a lot of people, or it could be so well done that people
it engages
just pour
everyone.
over it and pour over it and pour over it. It's going to be interesting to see. My only worry right now is that Sony's going to take the big bump that they got from No Way Home and screw up their Spider-Man villains.
I hope not.
Because Amy Pascal thinks that she is Kevin Feige, and she's not. And she does a good job, but like they run with things that I think they should just be a little more patient with. And but so far, I mean, No Way Home was fantastic. Hawkeye was a whole lot of fun, way better than I thought it was going to be in a lot of ways. And I mean, to the point that I'm just ready. I'm ready to see those characters again.
Yeah.
It's just going to be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I do just want to touch on one tiny little last thing before we go. Because with you mentioning that guy a moment ago, potentially playing Nova, which, awesome. And linking back to the X-Men, I think around last April or around then, Hugh Jackman posted on his Instagram story. You saw this?
Well, because they started doing reshoots after he posted some of that stuff. They said, "Oh, we're going to do some reshoots," and so I definitely think he's going to be in it, if for no other reason than a cameo.
Yeah, but for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking, sorry, I was just going to say really quick.
I think they can do the reshoot because because of scheduling issues, they couldn't tell the story they wanted to tell, and now they can. And so they went back and redid stuff.
Yeah. But for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about here, last April-ish, Hugh Jackman posted 2 things on his Instagram story. One was the Wolverine helmet and claws that we saw in a deleted scene from one of the Wolverine solo films, don't remember which, and another picture straight after of him standing with Kevin Feige, which...
Apocalypse. It was from Apocalypse.
Ah, right. But, so, we saw that specific helmet from that deleted scene from that film, and him standing with Kevin Feige. And these pictures were posted on his story, one after the other, immediately. So, I wonder.
The funny thing is if it was just Hugh Jackman hanging out with Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds went, "Hey, you want to see the entire internet go insane?" And then Ryan posted those 2 pictures on Hugh's Instagram. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of Ryan Reynolds, I just want to drop this because I will never stop bragging about this. Just in case you didn't know, you know that UK football club that Ryan Reynolds bought?
I know, man. I'm so excited about that. I heard about that. I was like, dude, that's right in my boy's backyard.
That is my hometown.
Awesome.
I literally pass that stadium on my way to college every Tuesday.
That's awesome.
Like, it's so cool. Like, and he did come to Wrexham a few months ago, beginning of November, and I did see him.
Very cool.
But unfortunately, he didn't see me, as I, at the time, was in my wheelchair, so I was a bit too low down. Yeah. But hopefully, I will catch his attention eventually.
Sweet.
Just gotta figure out how.
Well, you got a YouTube channel here, man.
Yeah.
One of these days, we will talk on an Astoundcast with our special guest Ryan Reynolds about the time that he came and he didn't see you.
Oh man, like if I ever meet him, I am definitely I'm definitely going to try to record something with him. Like, I just can't miss on that opportunity.
For real.
Yeah, like Deadpool in a video with me. Yup.
That's all.
And but honestly, this year for Marvel, it's gonna be nuts. Let's be real.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be crazy. But I appreciate you having me on, man. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been good to have you again. And of course, despite the changes I'm making...
I was really looking forward to it.
Oh, so was I. But as I mentioned in today's video earlier on, despite the changes to me putting the videos back for predictions and overviews, I am still going to be doing these for the End of Marvel shows with Rodney. So, like, this ain't going away. This is still happening. The main predictions and overviews are going to be back in videos because they seem to do a lot better than on here. Like,
yep, I'm in.
Yeah, so we're definitely still doing these at the end of each show. I mean, if you want to as well, we could do one for the Star Wars shows.
I'm cool with that. I'll come back. I mean, I don't do any videos for those, but I'll come on and talk with you about it, especially as somebody who isn't up on some of the those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, you could start doing videos if you wanted to. Like,
I got there's a guy I work
thing.
with Star Wars stuff, and I want to start doing some videos with him where he can just nerd out on this stuff, because he's like super into it.
Oh, so am I. Yeah.
But thanks again for the interview, dude. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. It's great to have you back, and definitely hoping to have you back very soon.
Absolutely. And shout out to Roxanne too, by the way. She couldn't be here today, and hopefully she's gotten Disney Plus by now, and if she hasn't, then we'll find a way to get her hooked up.
We need to figure this out. Oof. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for this episode of the Astoundcast, episode 30, featuring once again the wonderful Rodney from the After Credits Scene YouTube channel. Please go subscribe to him, because honestly, he's just really damn good. Don't forget as well to subscribe to me on my YouTube channel. It'll be in my stereo, or if you're watching this on YouTube tomorrow, you can just subscribe from the subscribe button down below. And if you're also watching on YouTube, don't forget to follow me here on stereo, which will be in my link tree in the description, so you can catch the Astoundcast episodes when they happen every Sunday at around 6 p.m. UK time. Anything else you want to plug while you're here?
No, man. We I've got you guys can follow me on YouTube at the After Credit Scene. I've got a Twitter with the same name, and then if you go on Redbubble, I've got the After Credit Scene store. There's actually from episode 4 actually of Hawkeye, the Thanos was right mug. You can buy one off of my Redbubble store.
Okay.
So if you want one of those, I've got one of those on my Redbubble store. So check that out as well. And then I made a multiverse video to kind of explain my take on the multiverse recently, and that one's been a lot of fun. I made it so that anytime people are talking about the multiverse and I think they're wrong, I can kind of throw it in their comments and be like, you need to watch this. So,
yes.
But, nah, man, I appreciate it. And shout out to Junkie Dave too for throwing his music our way.
Thanks, Dave. That was amazing.
That was really cool. So,
yeah. And with all of that said and done, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video on YouTube, and next week with another episode of the Astoundcast. Bye.
See you, dude.
Bye.